My name is Yasir Sayed, and I am one of the founding members of ViviGro. ViviGro Sustainable Solutions is an alternate way of growing. It's a way of growing that looks at soil conditions, environmental conditions, soil health, and it devises a program that is sustainable, that is not heavily chemical dependent, and a program which ideally is organic, and if not organic, then it has a very heavy influence of organics in it. We have very high-end sustainable solutions which can practically eliminate or minimize the gap between organic and conventional production. And conventional farmers, who are still over 98% of the world's farmland, we are deeply interested in working with them. And as a matter of fact, bulk of our clients are actually not organic. They are conventional farmers, but we have changed the model of growing of these conventional farmers. They are now utilizing inputs that they had never heard of. They are now utilizing up to 25 to 30% less nitrogen, 25 to 30% less phosphates. In cases where there is an abundance, we are minimizing wastage and we are maximizing efficiency. We have created, through our elaborate science, extremely unique seed treatments, sustainable fertilizers that don't evaporate, that don't leach out, that can support the entire life cycle of the plant. And the residual effect of those fertilizers can actually still nurture the next crop, which could be the same year or in the following year.
Okay, I'm Danny Wirtz, the farm manager at Sunnydale Colony. We farm roughly 27,000 acres of canola, wheat, barley, peas, soybeans, sorghum, corn. We were mostly focused on growing big crops and not about dirt or your land health, soil health. And when first heard about you, we were going through our soil samples, and our soil samples were really depleted, and we needed to find a way to build our soils. If we want the next generation to farm, we have to change something. We've used less herbicides. Haven't used any pesticides. Like last year, we never used a pesticide or a fungicide on our crops. Just from our fertility program was enough to keep the plant healthy. It didn't get diseased. Where everybody else was spraying, we were just watching our crop grow. Every year we can see the soils improving, and like all the micronutrients that was missing the previous years are all there and multiplying like crazy. What I noticed was our soil are more mellow, they're softer. Even in the heat of the day, you dig up a plant and the soil there's lots of moisture around the roots. We've got a more uniform crop throughout the whole field, and bigger root system for sure. And the third thing I've noticed was the crop is more mature at harvest.
Good day, I am Saul with Springwater Colony. I've been in this farming end here for the last 30 years. I started as a young kid helping my uncle, and my belief has always been that we should be the stewards of the land and try to nurture our families, and not only the families but the world. As we're living in a culture where we're thinking that more fertilizers, more chemicals, pesticides, fungicides, I went to every meeting thinking that I'm going to do everything just perfectly right. Got myself hired an agronomist that was backing me up to grow good nutritionist food. And yeah, we did go along that route for a few years. And the more pesticides, the more insecticides, the more seed treatments we used, and the more disease. I soon realized that we were going down the wrong track because we had one sprayer which couldn't keep up with fungicides anymore and disease. So we had purchased another one and just kept throwing on way more fertilizer and nitrates, which I'm thinking is the root of all diseases. With these high nitrates we put in, where we had to put in or hire helicopters and airplanes to keep up with fungicides. So it was just this big vicious circle where, there was nothing left in the end. I got realizing, we are really going down the wrong track. I went to a meeting of Yasir Sayed's, and that was 9 years ago. And he spoke about soil nutrition, soil life, soil biology. And after the meeting, what I took home is, he kind of made me think different about soil life, because in my mind I used to think dirt was dirt. You throw a plant in and start giving it NPK, not thinking about all the other micronutrients and where the soil, which we have been destroying, finding out later with all the fungicides and everything that we've been doing. So 4 years ago, we did start this program, and I am now a firm believer that the ViviGro products that we are using, we are building soil, we're building soil structure. We were heavily dependent on nitrogen stabilizers, synthetic nitrogen stabilizers, and very heavily dependent on seed treatments and inoculants, which really never did live up to expectations where we were going to be sustainable. Now with the ViviGro products, ViviGro stabilizers and the ViviGro inoculants, we are being very sustainable on our crops, and we have nodules like we've never believed. And soil tests, which we're doing after the stabilizers, the nitrogen stabilizers, are top notch. That they are to the point that every pound we put down there, we can find it in our soil tests. So yeah, I really do believe that these products work, and they are sustainable, making us sustainable, and they are the products to use for the future.
I humbly request farmers from all around the world. Our concepts go beyond nationalities and go beyond nations and countries. We request and invite all farmers around the world at whatever level. A 1 acre vegetable farmer, or a half acre rice farmer in India or China, or a 30,000 acre cereal farm like the farm in which I'm standing right now. We request farmers to reevaluate, rethink what they are doing, and if we can play a role in redesigning their fertility programs and in redesigning the soil rejuvenation program, and the funny part is the reduction in chemicals actually more than pays for it. So it's actually a gain. But it requires a mindset, a change in mindset. And we request the farmers to think about it and give us a chance. I thank you all.